I know you have the Virgil Ortiz fight. That's the bigger one. So, real quick, do you want to touch on any of those? Obviously, Virgil Ortiz, now that I mentioned it.
Yeah, no, Vergil Ortiz fighting August 6th. Him winning that fight, we're going right after the winner of Crawford and Errol Spence.
Wow.
Uh, right there, he's right there in line. He's this is a title eliminator for the WBC. So we feel that Vergil Ortiz is the most dangerous welterweight out there in the world today.
Mm.
I know that the biggest fight to be made now is Crawford and Errol Spence, but Vergil Ortiz is the guy that's considered to be the boogeyman. So
Mm.
so no, we feel that that there's some great fights to be made. It's a matter of just making them happen and waiting on Crawford Spence to be made, and hopefully we get the winner.
Virgil's a big puncher, man. He's actually fighting, what's his name? McKinson, I think. That's who he was supposed to fight, right? Originally?
22-0, slick, good boxer. I don't think he has enough firepower to keep Virgil out, Ortiz away from him. But he is a slick boxer. He does move a lot. He does have a pretty big high IQ inside the ring. So it will be a tricky fight. But I'm going to call this one and say Virgil Ortiz by knockout in the mid to late rounds.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, look, he's a huge puncher. He's definitely right there for the big fights. I think he was was he Crawford's mandatory? Is that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's right. Yeah, he's right there. So
Mm-hmm.
whether this is a title eliminator or whatever we have to do, we're gonna continue to push Vergil Ortiz to get that title shot. Hopefully this year, if not first quarter of next year.
Do you have a preference on which guy wins that fight, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford? Like, just for example, like because he is Crawford's mandatory for the WBO, if Crawford wins, does that make that fight easier for you to make versus the Errol Spence one, or?
It might make it easier because of the WBO and I've never dealt with Crawford, but look, I like both guys. Spence is. I've always said when I was promoting Spence, I always said that Spence can be like a Sugar Ray Leonard, of our era.
Mm.
That fighter, he's an amazing human, and his firepower, his abilities to think in the ring, his footwork, everything is great. But I don't know, for some reason, Crawford to me is a little more elusive.
Mm-hmm.
He has more of like he has more weapons that he can use against Spence. Spence is sometimes a little too mechanical. He throws a 1-2-3 punch,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Crawford throws the 5-6 punch combination from all angles, and then he moves his legs and dances, and it's elusive. It's going to be a very interesting fight because Spence is a very dangerous puncher.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's, and he's a devastating puncher. So I think this is the fight that if it gets made, people are going to be really, really excited about, because both guys are the very best at 147.
From a fighter's point of view, is one style easier to deal with than the other? Like, like you said, Errol's a little more mechanical, a little more fundamental, I think, than Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has a lot of special effects. Is one easier? I'm trying to, as I'm talking, I'm trying to think of maybe some people that you may have faced, like would a Pernell Whitaker be an easier fight than an Ike Corte, or vice versa? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of view them as that.
Yeah. A Pernell Whitaker is by far more difficult and trickier than Ike Corte, just because Corte was mechanical. Corte was in your face. You knew what he was going to do. You knew what to expect. And so, with Terrence Crawford, he throws punches from all angles. He's very elusive. He's fast. He can change it up. Whereas Errol Spence is more, he's more of your pure, one-dimensional type of fighter, where he's very effective. Don't get me wrong. He's actually my favorite.
Yeah.
He's he's one dimensional. But if he can start using his feints and use his footwork a little more, you know, and then kind of like take his opponents off rhythm, he can be one dangerous man for a very long time. So I that's why I say this fight here with them is gonna be one for the ages, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, don't give Errol too much advice because he might have to get in the ring with Virgil. So you don't want to let him know too much, Oscar. Don't let him know too much.
I will figure him out. Don't worry, man.